Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the EdTech Lounge. For those of you who are attending the EdTech Lounge for the first time, EdTech Lounge is a virtual space for faculty members to learn from each other by sharing experiences, discussing challenges, and exploring new possibilities of online and remote teaching. EdTech Lounge is held every Wednesday at the same time, and our speaker for today's fifth EdTech Lounge is Dr. Aisha Sanober. Dr. Aisha Sanober is from the Department of Psychiatry, Medical College, Khan University. She is also an alumni of the Khan University, and after completing her residency, she has worked as a junior faculty in the Department of Psychiatry with joint appointment with the Office of Dean of Students as college psychiatrist at AKU. Dr. Aisha is also a fellow of the 7th Hillman Richmond Research Seminar 2019. And she's also a recipient of Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Grant 2018. We welcome Aisha Sanober at the EdTech Lounge today. Dr. Aisha, please take over.
So thank you so much, Abhi, for inviting me today. And this is a great initiative. And when I got this invitation, I was really excited because this is very timely, and I think we all are struggling in our ways. So this is great, and thank you for inviting. My presentation is going to be short. I've tried to make it very brief, but I am going to talk about some of the things that we usually are not very comfortable talking about, and I'll also discuss some of the reasons why. So to give you a brief background of my talk, so when I received this invitation email, I was reading this book called Trauma of Everyday, given that we have COVID crisis and everything is so chaotic. So I thought it's a very timely book to read. And there was this chapter called Rush to Normal. And when I received this email, I was reading that, and it suddenly just occurred to me, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. Rush to normal, and like what is it that we are rushing towards? What is it that we are trying to restore? So that was what I had in my mind. So I came up with this fancy title, but what happened was that I started to follow the talks that came later, and I realized that there are these senior people, there are people who are like experts, are commenting and asking questions, and then I realized, okay, so this I don't know if I should be doing this, and then I think what really helped me was this my child psychiatry training. So I said I like to look at things from developmental perspective. Har ek cheez ka, like there is stage to it. Why not talk about it in my talk? Like, yes, there are people at different levels, but how about I talk about my struggle in terms of an early career professional. So that is what I thought would be helpful. So with that background, I have no financial disclaimers and no disclosures, but I do have this disclosure that I'm not a robot, and there's no pun intended here, because this is actually kind of struggle everyone is feeling, that now suddenly we are these techies, these teachers are supposed to not just develop, but also like not just teach, but also develop and design all of these things within a week. So this is something, and with this background, by the end of this, and since I have this very brief moment where I can actually talk about teachers' perspective, so I have taken this liberty of saying that by the end of this talk, I will be hopefully able to take you through my medical education journey, and then give away some key lessons that I learned the hard way. But yeah, I'm not sure if they are smart, but that's what we hope to achieve. So I'll start with the expectations जो आजकल teachers से है. And when I'm saying teachers, I'm specifically talking about medical education and higher education. So now there's this expectation that given this crisis, given all of this situation, we have to suddenly become this. But to be honest, this is the reality that I'm not a robot, I'm not a monkey. I'll not dance even if the beat is funky. And literally, like, this is expectation versus reality. And I'll also briefly talk about how my journey in medical education and also in my life has started from being traditional to blended to completely online synchronous teaching and learning. So it's actually I come from a time जहाँ पे हम लोग cassette and VCRs was how I grew up, and with that, like, very traditional पढ़ाई, and there was no concept of, like, जो भी पढ़ना है class में जाके पढ़ना है. Then medical college almost was that way, and then residency के बाद when I started my junior faculty ship, that is where I got introduced to medical education. And I'll be honest, merely it was an aha moment. I thought they were good teachers and then they were not so good teachers. But I realized that there's this science to it. There's like learning outcomes within all of these things, and it was completely a new world. And usi doran, I was introduced to blended learning, which was again altogether a new thing. Okay, blended learning, it's like website design, and this was like a complete whole new world. So in 2016, yes, the entire UGME Psychiatry team, Dr. Aisha was leading that, and Dr. Humera was co-leading, and that's how this started. And for me, it was more of like exploring this new world. And I would also, I remember there were meetings every Tuesdays. There was liberty, there was luxury of going back पढ़ाई करना, and like, even there were times when I was told कि limit, like, don't get into details, like when it comes to like reading up stuff, because this was very fascinating. And then came a point जहाँ पे recently we developed a course which was completely online, and I think blended or online में अगर मैं आपको फर्क बताऊँ, so blended was like, it was half designed virtual platform पे, and then half of it was designed face to face. But in the midst of this crisis, we were sort of like expected to suddenly come up with complete online course, which I personally feel was easier for me and my team, because we had this transition, and we were sort of like, unknowingly we were being prepared to be here. But still, the challenges stayed, like, they were really, like, it was hard for us. So this is how my medical education journey has been. And so with that, I want to talk about developmental जो मैंने stage की बात की थी, and very mindfully I've taken this slide that talks about training needs of preschool teachers. And let's be honest, students are students, right? The way we deal with them, the way, like, expectations are from them, I really think preschool teachers की जो ये, I think ये stages हैं, this is something to learn from. I personally feel that I'm somewhere between 2 and 3, but again, it's I don't know my reference point. I don't remember कब से हम पढ़ा रहे हैं as residents themselves, but formally I would say 2 to 3 के stage के बीच में I'm here, and the reason why I'm showing this slide is because it's important to see आपका क्या stage है, आपकी क्या struggles हैं, because this would help you ease a lot. कि एक certain expectation होती है that maybe I'm not good like maybe मैं सही नहीं कर रही हूँ या मुझे पढ़ाने नहीं आ रही है मैं dynamic teacher नहीं हूँ. The teachers who are, I mean, I'll give an example of how like जो last हमारा एक online session था, and I completely freaked out because I was using Microsoft Teams for the very first time, and so was the like I would say Dr. Aisha as well. Dr. Aisha Mia was also there. And then while I froze because I was at a certain developmental stage, she very easily and very frankly talked about, okay, hey, this is new to me, in front of like 100 students, medical students, smart medical students. So why I'm mentioning this is there is no comparison with people that you look up to. And I'm not saying कि linear है. I'm not saying कि stage 1 के बाद 2, 3, there is a possibility कि आप skip करो, but it's very important for you to understand that this is the developmental stage of a teacher. And जब आप ये देखोगे तो आपको अपने struggles, आपके emotions would look normal. So this is something that we are struggling with. And on top of this is another struggle जो अभी हो रहा है. Since we are rushed into this new thing, there are people. I would say I was very lucky and fortunate कि मेरी trajectory already थी है. But I know people who are really struggling. Even like blended, this is the very first time they're doing this LMS, ये पूरा जो online teaching है, and it's very scary because आपको नहीं पता when this is going to end, how long आप या like continue करना है, and then this whole pressure of assessments and then doing it right, and then like there's institutional pressure, and then that pressure comes to, let's say if I give like program directors and coordinators and then coming to the team, and then that if the team is not comfortable because of XYZ reasons, it shows. And when you're not comfortable, no matter how dynamic you are as a teacher, it's important to know that this is completely a different ball game. The way teachers like talk, body language, walking, gestures, all of that is sort of like gone. And now the focus is very, mechanical translation of what you're supposed to, like, it's almost like content आपको deliver करना है और फिर आपको assess करना है. So this is not a very nice place to be at because this takes away a lot of, liberty, a lot of you as a teacher. So this is a very difficult place to be at, and we have to acknowledge it because we can't brush it under the carpet. We can't really say, okay, like it's nothing. We'll just get over it. Yes, we will, but I'm telling you, this is my example from last week only, that when we went online in Microsoft Teams course, I was completely clueless. I was like, what just happened? And there was also a huge learning in that because it taught me कि end time पे never ever use something that you're not comfortable with or you're very new to. So there is this pressure of using tools, there is this pressure of using things that you're not comfortable with, and coming from a background where I knew I had almost helped my team and worked with video, developed this entire course, and even then it was so hard for me. So I think it's important to see what are we using and why are we using this, because tools is not the thing. It's about learning. We don't pick tools and then say कि अच्छा इसके थ्रू हम learn करेंगे, but we think about learning and then we decide what tool would be helpful. So I think struggle is real because there are all sorts of these issues going on. There's something called Zoom bombing, where people, and there are like reports coming up. Okay, very like unreasonable things are happening because people are like hacking. So yeah, there's something new. There's also embarrassment in terms of, oh my God, like, I'm this good teacher in front, like in face-to-face sessions, and now suddenly I don't know, I'm just, and there are also cases where students sort of like are hacking and then manipulating this system and mute kar dete hain my teachers ka, and all of these things which are not very nice things, and then there's this pressure of using tools ke ye tools aap use kare, and then there's this whole competition of like who's delivering what, and then assessment grades. All of these things are very, very mind-boggling for teachers. And so yes, we are old school, and by we, I would say I am old school, yes, but that does not mean I'm ancient. I'm not ancient, right? So keeping that positivity, keeping that like spark and hope, I would say that in midst of everything, please like do reflect, do think about couple of things before rushing into anything. What is it that you want to achieve? Is it just content here and then that's it, grades, assessments, very mechanical? If that is what you want, you at least by reflecting, you'd be honest to yourself, and then life would be easier, right? And also think about what is it that you want to preserve as an individual, your dynamic way of interacting, your humor, like whatever. As a teacher, do you want to preserve it while you're delivering online teaching? And then, as I said, tool versus learning. Tool ko aapko promote nahi karna hai, right? And this is the learning that we have to focus on. And sense of agency की जब मैं बात कर रही हूँ यहाँ पे, it's both teachers, right, and also students. Students, if they think they are not part of learning, it's something जो कि सिर्फ impose किया जा रहा है उन पे, they're not going to enjoy it. And let's be honest, it really, if you are comfortable as a teacher, you would be able to have that spark in the sessions. So sense of agency is something very important for which institutions need to take care of their educators and teachers, because it's really mind-boggling. And this is a Pandora box. This is not going to go away. This is not something okay, but like after COVID, it's going to end. This is a Pandora box. Now there's this whole digital literacy, etiquette, ethical concerns, legal issues, digital rights. All of these things are coming up because there are things happening that no one imagined. So that and I think this is very important, that classes are very, very safe, sacred places where people have, a certain liberty. Students have this space of doing mistakes, and when we are recording it without telling them, are we violating any like privacy? And these are just a couple of things that we have to think. So yes, there is crisis out there, but there's also crisis within, which we are not very, like I would say, we are not very ready to acknowledge, because it's like, it's very not nice. But I think it's important to step back. And the great thing about digital world is that whatever I think I'm struggling with, next day उसपे article आ जाता है. So that means I'm not the only one, right? So when I was attending Zoom meetings, I was so exhausted, but then I kept on blaming myself that this is me. But later on, I was like, oh, okay, people are actually talking about it. So you're not alone, and this is completely okay. To acknowledge, because if we don't acknowledge, we don't name it, we won't be able to help this. So yeah, in the end, I would say it's okay to be not okay. and we really have to, as teachers, educators, have to like support each other in terms of being not okay is okay, because this is crisis. When we're talking about crisis, why are we not thinking that we are also part of this? We are not like, you know, I don't know, super, like we're not aliens or something. So I think it's important and to acknowledge, and so yeah, I think that's I that's how I want to end this. Thank you.